Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this webinar, 3 key steps to automate testing for your Oracle applications. So if you can move to the next slide, Raji. So my name is John Collett, and I'm the Sales Director at Winfo Solutions, and I'll be your host today, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to this webinar. Thank you very much for attending. So also on the call today, we have Raji Rangaswamy, who is a senior Oracle consultant supporting some of our key customers. And we also have Kaushik Sekaran, a Winfo Test product delivery manager, who will also be running through some very interesting case studies of customers who have implemented automated testing using our Winfo Test solution. So firstly, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to attend what I believe will be an informative and productive short webinar. We do appreciate you finding the time in your schedule, so thank you very much. So let me just run through a few housekeeping points to begin with, just to ensure that everything runs smoothly. So to confirm with everyone, the webinar is being recorded. All of your microphones will be muted. However, from our side, you'll be able to see and hear each of the participants. The webinar recording will be made available at the end, and along with some links to some content and further information. So if we move to the next slide, just to cover the agenda. So Winfo has significant experience in Oracle applications testing, and our solution Winfo Test has been developed and based around the challenges our customers were facing. We will be really interested to understand the challenges that you have, and so please feel free to put those in the chat at the end, or please bring them up in the Q&A that we have following the session. So Winfo Test automates the whole process at the click of a button, saving significant time, resource, and cost, and taking what we say the pain out of quarterly upgrades. So in the agenda today, we'll provide a high-level overview of Winfo Solutions. Why is automated testing key? And the 3 key steps to automating the testing. Raji is kindly going to go through automated testing overview and provide a live demo, and then go through the key features and benefits of the Winfo Test solution, followed by Kaushik, who will also cover some really good case studies of Winfo Test in action in some key Oracle customer sites. And then, of course, we have the Q&A summary. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we'll get to answer them at the end. So Winfo Solutions, if you could go to the next slide, Raji, please. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of Winfo Solutions if you haven't heard of us before. So Winfo was founded in 2015 by Oracle experts who have got many years of experience and a very deep understanding of Oracle applications and a very strong background in implementation and transformation, both on-premise and in the cloud. And this has grown initially from a very strong financials background. And in actual fact, we have over 70 qualified accountants in the business, with over 300 experts employed by Winfo across the globe. And that's across the globe in Hyderabad, India, the UK, Ireland, and the USA, supporting many customers across the globe and in those geographies and more. So Winfo's core capabilities are services that deliver enterprise transformation. Now, what does that mean? That means helping organizations to be more efficient through Winfo's implementation services, as well as our solutions that cover testing to automate those processes and business process automation to drive further efficiencies. It's through this experience that we have developed Winfo Test, really to automate the whole testing process end to end at the click of a button. So today we'll be demonstrating this capability to you. And I'd just like to start with a few of the key challenges that we found our customers have had. So let's take a look at those quickly. So here are a few of those key challenges, and I'm sure you'll all be quite familiar with them. So Oracle has a mandatory quarterly update cycle, and updates require significant resource and time spent on manual testing on a quarterly basis. Oracle provides only a 2-week period to complete all regression testing, and that can put unnecessary pressure on the business. And also completing that testing does the same thing as well. So another area is also covering all the test scenarios, and that doing it manually is just sometimes not possible. So as you can see, quite a lot of pressure to get that manual testing done in a timely fashion is a challenge. And all of the above can lead to a number of delays in projects and cause additional pressure as detailed. So there are significant benefits in automating testing, and that's what we're going to really run through with you today. So what I'd like to do now is hand over to Raji. So Raji is going to go through the three key steps to automating testing, a live demonstration of Winfo Test, and then we're going to cover some case studies. So Raji, over to you.
Based on experiences, I know firsthand how important the whole testing process is when often working on very complex and substantially large projects. And our view is that it is essential that we have a robust automated testing tool that should be leveraged for both coverage and speed. To address this, Winfo has come up with a vision to simplify test execution with a click of a button, and that's exactly what Winfo Test delivers in 3 key steps: a one-time setup, execute, and report. I will talk to you more about this in the next few minutes. Let's quickly understand the key features of the Winfo Test tool. It is a SaaS application, a test automation tool. So this means the customer doesn't have to install any hardware or software at their side, and it is fully secured. We have both role-based access controls as well as project-based security as well. So if you have users between procurement and finance modules and you don't want them to have access to each other testing, then we have that kind of security setup as well. We also have a pre-built test script library. We have built over 1,600 scripts in our library. These are standard scripts. And in addition to this, we build custom scripts for our clients. The standard scripts cover a wide range of Oracle modules to perform testing of the solution. We have a powered script assistant, and this is one of my favorite features within the Winfo Test tool. This tool captures the navigation and action of the user and automatically creates the test script in the background in English. So that means there is no coding involved here. The product also supports process testing. So testing an end-to-end P2P cycle, as an example, is handled within the tool. So that level of granular process can be defined within the Winfo Test application and executed. The test data is provided and it serves as a dynamic test data. Now I will tell you what dynamic test data means. So the requisition number, for an example, is not an input parameter when you create a requisition. So when the process is completed in the Fusion, a requisition number is generated by the Oracle application. And this is captured by the Winfo Test tool in the first test script, for example. So the requisition number actually becomes the input for the second test script, which could be approving the requisition. So this, combined with an Excel upload of data that can be used from the previous test runs, serves as dynamic test data. Pre-validation of test script data. This is again a unique feature of the Winfo Test tool. That is, it connects to Oracle's Fusion application to validate any test data that is provided in the tool. Say, for example, supplier name is provided for testing a payables invoice. We will have to make sure that the supplier in fact exists in the Fusion environment, right? So that kind of validation can be done in the Winfo Test tool. So if the supplier is not available in the Fusion environment, the script is bound to fail. So that kind of failures or validations can be done actually before executing the script itself. The Winfo Test tool also supports all custom extensions and pass extensions, and testing can be scheduled. So which means everything can be done in the background. The system doesn't have to be switched on or manually monitored when testing is performed. So testing can be scheduled out of hours or over the weekend, as convenient. Detailed reporting and other reports containing the test evidence is available once the testing is complete. The reports provide evidence of each and every step of the tool's navigation within the application. So that serves as an extremely important audit evidence for a lot of our customers. All the scripts in the Winfo Test are version controlled, and the scripts are upgraded on a quarterly basis. Say if you are on 24A, you will have released 24A scripts. And before you take the next release, 24B scripts will be upgraded, and these can be used for executing. Again, no coding involved here, and it is all in simple English. The product is integrated with Jira, SharePoint, and quite a number of tools for various functionality, and you can use single sign-on as well. So the Winfo Test has clearly simplified this whole testing process into 3 key steps: a one-time execution, a one-time setup, execution, and reporting. The next slide will tell you more about what these 3 key steps are. A one-time setup, basically the test approach is straightforward. What we have is an existing script library that is ready to use. Say we have finance, financials, procurement, PPM, SCM, and various other modules, and we have pre-built scripts for these modules. We can start with the scripts that we have and identify any gaps, and if any additional scripts are required and necessary, these can be built as well or modified based on the customer's requirement. So when I say modify, there could be some DFFs that are enabled for the customer, and these can be included as in our custom script as well. Test runs. Test runs here mean a group of test scripts to define your process that you may want to test. I've seen that a lot of customers define test run based on modules. So depending on how the customer is testing, the same process can be followed here, and test run templates can be created. These templates again can be used any number of times in the future. Input test data is then agreed and used. This can be loaded via Excel, and it can be validated using our Winfo Test pre-validation feature. Now, this whole thing is a one-time setup. So this means you can use that particular test data, test templates, and the test scripts on a repetitive basis for any subsequent testing. And once you have this, you can just execute by the click of a button, because you have all your data, your test run templates, everything ready. Once the scripts are executed, the tool sends out email notification to say the progress and the status of the test scripts that are being executed. And when it is completed, it will again notify the user, and evidence, detailed test evidence is available. When I say detailed test evidence, I will show that in a minute on our demo. The output captures each and every step of the tool's navigation into the Fusion environment along with a timestamp. So that serves as an affirmative test evidence for our auditors. I'll move on to the demo now, and this will show you how the Winfo Test tool actually works and what it looks like. I have now logged into our Winfo Test environment. As you can see, I am on the home page here, and this will give you the required links to navigate within the Winfo Test environment. There is a test script library, a test run, and scheduler test runs as well. The home page gives you a quick view of the different projects and test scripts that are available. And as you can see, there are about 91 active test runs on the 24A regression testing, the status of how they are all completed, any failures. And as you scroll down, you can see the different modules that are available on 24A that were tested, and you can look at the ones that you are interested And any further drill down is also possible based on what you are seeing in the landing page. So this has now taken you to the test run page. Let's come back to test runs in a minute. I would like to show you the pre-built test script library. Now this test script library, as I said, contains more than 1,600 standard test scripts across a lot of Oracle modules. These are readily available to be used. And any new script, as per the customer's customization of their Fusion page, can be created as well. Based on our, with the help of our powered script assistant, we can create new scripts on the fly, and I will quickly show you that. We have the Winfo Test plugin where I will click start and I will move on to the Fusion page. Here, this is the demo instance. So as I start doing this, I will be able to create the script right from the beginning. So for today, let me just say I navigate into the Fusion environment, into the payables work area to create a simple invoice. And this will show you how the tool is able to capture all of the steps that the user is performing, the user's actions within the tool. Let me just give very simple, quick data to show you how the script is created. Populate all of the details that you would normally do, including any DFFs that are available. These can be captured as well by the tool. I'll go into the lines area and just give a distribution combination. And you can see how this is also captured as a step by the tool. I will click on save and you can stop and submit here. Once you stop and submit here, it will enable you to actually create the script based on the details that you are providing. Create payables, invoice, okay, priority. Let me just give one. Type of script. Let me say it's a custom script. Role, NEP specialist. Product version, I will leave it at 24A and Oracle Fusion. Just click on submit. Okay, now what happens is this particular script is created within the tool. And as you can see on the left hand side here, there are some filters that will enable you to see the scripts that are actually created. Let me use the script creation date function to filter to show you how the custom script was created. And as you can see, the script that we just saw in the Fusion demo instance is available here. So you can see the test case name and some basic details and the script steps. Now this is what I'd be more interested in. The tool has captured my navigation. It has seen me logging into the application, Fusion application, navigate to the invoices page, create invoice, select business unit, enter number, and so on. So these details are captured and this script is now available for use any number of times in the future. Now this is a standard script. However, if you want to create a custom script to capture in future, possibly the customer has an additional functionality. So the script can be copied and a new script can be created on the product that is currently used by based on the current release. So what will happen is, let me just clear here. I will show you one of our custom scripts. So as you can see, this is a custom script based on a certain customer's requirement, and script steps can be added here. I can just add a row and give a script step to capture any additional customization of the customer. enter value text field. For now, I will leave these validations as not applicable. There are options available to tell the system if it is a unique or a mandatory field or both, or you could leave them as not applicable for now and simply save it. Once this is saved, a custom script with the DFF of the customer's invoice page or the script that we are doing is captured here. So this now becomes part of the customer's library and can be used for any release. Let me move on to the scheduler. As you can see, this particular scheduler page is giving you a 24A regression test pack. And this scheduler contains about 6 test runs. And we know that each of these test runs have a number of scripts within them, a P2P, R2R cycle. And there are certain scripts that are already available here for 24A. This template, this can be marked as a template for future use. So what I will do now is I can mark that as a template and I will be able to use that for future. So let us say this one is an old scheduler. I can delete that and I can create another one from the template or undo a template from before. Mark that 24A regression testing as a template and copy it into a new scheduler for 24B. As an example, release 24B regression testing. And you can create this project, create this scheduler in a project that is available for you. And the configuration. Configuration refers to the Fusion environment that is aligned to your Winfo Test environment. Schedule date. I can schedule this for May when 24B is expected. So once this is done, I can simply click on save. So all of these are available for me to use for 24B. Now you see that there are some green ticks and some red crosses here. This simply means that the test data validation on this one, whether it's completed or no. Or if a green tick refers that the validation is done and the data is available to use as is. But when there is a red, it tells you that the validation has failed and it can drill down to the particular test script which calls for attention. Now this is the test script data and I can scroll down to see that the invoice's date is missing and that is clearly highlighted by the tool before actually executing the script. Let me just give a date here for now and I will save and validate this. Once it is validated, I can go back to the scheduler to validate it again and it has validated. So these are the things that can be done simply by copying a scheduler from 24A into 24B. Once you validate the data, it is ready to execute. So that's just part of that one-time setup. You already have the scripts, you have the test runs, and you have the data, validate and execute. That's pretty much the 3 key steps here. So when you go inside a test run that is already completed, for example, you can see the evidence here, and that is the most important painstaking part when we do manual testing. A lot of screenshots, a lot of screen grabs and captures, and the auditors are never happy. That is not the case with Winfo Test tool. So you have this detailed report, and this particular report gives you the scheduler with the test runs that are already there. And I clicked on a particular P2P test run that holds 5 test scripts. And if you go on here, it will carry out and give you screenshots of each step of the tool's navigation. Typically, how a user would normally create test evidence or normally create a certain script, that is captured here along with the timestamp. So that is available here within the scheduler page. Let me take you back to the test run. you would like to create a new test run, say for a rollout or an implementation, or you would simply want to add a new test run to your template, then what you can do is you can simply copy from an existing test run, add a new script, and there you go. I will show that in a moment. So copy a test run from an existing test run. Incremental value, I would say yes, because we don't want any values to be copied to the input data, although agreed that it will be captured when we validate the test run. So I'm going to give a R23B ppm test. So we have a project and a configuration as always. A project, you can create a project for 24B and click on copy. Now, once I copy, I have a new test run with all of the test scripts and the test data as well. This test data can be viewed in an Excel sheet to have a quick look. And if anything needs to be changed, you can either change here. This is in a editable format, and you can download it as an Excel sheet as well. I will click on download for now, and it will open up an Excel sheet for me. And this particular Excel sheet will bring all of the data of the 5 scripts on this particular test run. It will give me all of it. And if any data requires to be changed, I can choose to change it here. I can use filters and change it here and save it, upload it back into the test run as the case may be. And then simply save, validate, and execute. You can choose to execute just a few scripts, enable and execute, or you could also execute all of them together. If you would like to add more scripts to this particular test run, you can click on add script and select the process area from which you would like to choose the scripts from. And it will list all of the scripts in this particular module from our pre-built script library. Choose them, add and close. And these are already added. Obviously, it is showing you a red button here because they are not going to have any data. They have just been added. But once it is added, again, it becomes a one-time data for you. What I will do now is I will move on to the benefits that we normally see. Benefits that our customers see is that they can now perform full end-to-end testing. So there is improved test coverage, and testing of quarterly upgrades is now controlled and well prepared. I have seen significant reduction in the time and resources required to test, with the associate cost reduction as well. And I have seen this with the customers that I closely work with. The process owners of our customers welcome these improvements as they aren't struggling to test during their busiest times. They retain control, and the detailed output is available to the business for review and sign off. So the whole experience is now planned. It's calm, it's controlled. Building confidence for the customer's business and reducing the risk by ensuring that testing covers most of the business critical processes that you cannot afford to have issues with. I will now let my colleague Kaushik talk to you more about the case studies and what our customers have experienced using the Winfo Test tool.
Thank you, Rajeshwari. A very good morning, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Kaushik and I lead Winfo Test delivery at Winfo Solutions. While there are numerous success stories for Winfo Test, today I will specifically discuss our experience in global healthcare and global telecommunication sectors. In healthcare, they have over 11,700 plus employees spread across Asia, Europe, and the US, covering more than 50 countries. Their headquarters are in Ireland with an annual revenue of $1.3 billion. Now let us look into the business challenges and problems. Testing needs to encompass multiple legal entities and business units across various countries. Oracle provides a 2-week window for upgrade testing. To accomplish this testing within the time frame, additional resources are required, often leading to delay in other parts as such. As a result, approximately 20% of tested time are spent on testing activities. To overcome the testing challenges in Oracle Cloud applications, we implement Winfo Test. Now, let us look at the implementation was done by Winfo Test. The process of implementation was straightforward. They had approximately 240 scripts in scope of automations, out of which 80% of the scripts are readily available in the Winfo Test. For a small number of scripts, we had to create a custom script to map client configurations. We did the one-time setup for the 20D versions and conducted regression for 21A version, and all the scripts were passed successfully. Now, let us look at the business impact. By utilizing the Winfo Test, they have achieved over an 80% cost saving, increased the test coverage to 99%. The process efficiency has been improved to over 90%, resulting in significant reductions in time, cost, and resource requirements for testing activities. Now, let us look at the global telecommunication operators. They are one of the world leading telecommunication operators with hundreds, with 132,000 employees. They are a big user of Oracle Cloud application, and they had challenges with the testing and were looking at testing solutions. The main criteria were the solution should be easy to implement and require minimal maintenance. Now let us look at the scope of automation. The scope of the project included Cloud ERP Financials and SCM. The project was initiated on October 22. They had completed 6 upgrade cycles successfully using Winfo Test solutions. Now let's look at the implementation phase. They have approximately 100 scripts in test automation, over which 90% of the scripts were direct fit to a seeded library that are readily available in Winfo Test. For a small number of scripts, we had to create custom script to map the configurations. Once it was done, the tool was ready to use. We conducted regression testing for the 22D version, and all the scripts were passed successfully. Now let us see the achievement of Winfo Test. In February, Winfo Test was scheduled to execute all scripts for 23A, and automatically the scheduled testing was successfully completed in just 2 days with minimal human interventions. As of date, Winfo Test has been successfully used to complete 6 upgrade cycles. This has resulted in shortening test cycles, more comprehensive test coverage, and successfully validation over 100 scripts. This has enabled the teams to focus on value-add activities and not to worry about their solutions. With the success, Winfo Test is now being rolled out to Oracle ERP solution globally. Just to summarize, testing now completes successfully in 2 days. Testing is fully automated using Winfo Test. Achieved an impressive over 99% increase in test coverage using the Winfo Test. I hope this gave you all good overview of customer success story. Over to you, John.
Great. Thank you very much, Kaushik. That was great. And Raji too, for a very in-depth demonstration of 3 key steps to automating testing. Thank you. And those, Kaushik, were 2 very large customers using Winfo Test to automate their testing and see the benefits. And we're finding more and more people and customers are turning to Winfo Test to help them with that challenge on a quarterly basis. So that sort of brings us to the end of the main part of the webinar. We wanted it to be short and very to the point, and I believe we've hit that objective. There have been a number of questions, so this is the Q&A session. So I believe that it is open to you to ask questions on the chat should you want to. There are a number that I'm going to go through, and then please do ask any further questions if they're not covered. So I'll put these questions to Raji. So one of the questions, actually this comes up time and time again, actually, is how quickly, Raji, is it possible to get the benefit from Winfo Test in automating? So how quickly is it? How quick can you actually achieve those benefits?
So John, the key thing here is the one-time setup, right? So we have our readily available scripts. We have test runs, templates can be created based on how the customer wants, and and the data is already there. So it totally depends on, how quickly we can implement that. And I'd say in, few weeks, we should be up and running. And with that, we also deliver training to the customers who will be able to do this by themselves based on our one-time setup. So can
Right.
as quick as it gets. Yeah.
No, that's great. So, I mean, that means that if we were looking at the next quarter's upgrade, then we could get going on that even now. So that's great. No, thanks, Raji. And I think we've had that experience recognized in our customers as well, who have got up and running with Winfo Test very quickly.
Yeah.
So again, so I know you're having worked on that, one of those case studies there, the healthcare company, Raji. So I think this might be a good question, which is in that particular scenario, how much time and resources typically saved? So what are the real benefits of using Winfo Test? I mean, in one of the case studies, we talked about reducing the testing time down to 2 days. Can you give us some input on that?
Right. Yeah. So earlier with this client, when before implementing our Winfo Test tool, it was a humongous effort, and especially around the busiest time of their month, which is the period in activities. The users found it extremely, extremely stressful to get testing covered, at least the bare minimum of the business critical process covered. That itself was a real challenge. But with Winfo Test tool, what they now do is they have end-to-end testing done within the, let us say, the immediate 4 hours of the 2 to 4 hours of the release being given to the customer's environment. So the end-to-end cycle typically covers the procure to pay or R2R, OTC, the PPM. That is covered in the immediate few hours. So you know that your basic processes are at least running, and there are any red flags are raised immediately. So that's the reason we say that testing is typically done in 2 days and cannot go for weeks and weeks together.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Raji. No, that's great. So they've got significant benefit from that, which is great. Another question that's come through is, do we need to install any software on users' desktop for automating the testing of Oracle Fusion?
And not at all, John. So this is a SaaS application. It's quite standard across customers. So we do not want any hardware or software installed on the customer's side at all.
Right. That's great. That's great. So as it's a full SaaS solution, there's nothing to be installed, which is great. And can Winfo Test automate other applications, upstream applications, where the transaction starts and then flows through into Oracle Fusion?
Right. Yeah. We've seen customers who have who use external ERP applications as well and interface them into Fusion. So what Winfo Test tool can do is via API, it can get the get response and get that testing done as well to test the interface of, could be invoices, could be payments going out. Winfo Test tool has the feature to test other interfaces as well.
Right. No, thank you. So I'm just looking through the questions, just thinking which one to pick next. Yeah. Oh, here's a good one. Can tests be scheduled to run automatically, Raji?
Of course, yes, John. So that is one of the unique and key features of Winfo Test tool, right? So once you have the release, or once you know when the patch is applied to your dev environment, you can simply schedule that over a weekend, or whether it's business or non-business hours, it doesn't matter, because testing happens in the background and doesn't necessarily have to be monitored. So yes, it can be scheduled.
Great. That's great. Saving further time. And so some other sort of more technical questions here. Does it integrate well with Jira?
Yes, we have
and other tools?
Jira defect integration as well. So once we have the integration in place with the Winfo Test tool, what customers can do is they can, in case of any defects or failures, they can simply click on a button on our test run itself, and that will automatically create a Jira explaining the defect, and it will get attended to. So there is Jira integration with Winfo Test.
Great. No, that's great. Thank you. Thing just going through some other ones, and this one comes up quite a lot as well, which is integrations. So in a lot of instances, customers use Oracle Integration Cloud. Raji, how are those dealt with from a testing perspective?
So that is again dealt in the same mode as testing other ERP interfaces, John. So some of the customers that we closely work with have an external application where say requisition is raised, and it is then the requisition is interfaced into Oracle's purchasing module, and once Oracle Fusion creates purchase order and invoices, Fusion again interfaces the invoice outbound to an external ERP. So this whole process can be tested within the Winfo Test tool through API and get responses.
Perfect.
And we will be able to see the results as well. So based on the code that we see, if there is any error message on the API, based on the message that is giving, we will be able to see if the interface has gone through, and if the invoice, if that is created successfully, we will be able to get that reporting done as well.
Brilliant. And a question from another question here. This is more of a commercial question, which I can probably help with as well, is around the commercial model, how it's licensed. Would you like me to answer that one, Raji?
Yes, please, John.
Yeah, sure. So it's more commercial. So yeah, it's a subscription-based model based on an annual subscription license cost. The customers typically buy the subscription for a specific amount of scripts per annum. And what is also included with that as well is training, support, and ongoing maintenance, and all of the patches and upgrades, which is all done by Winfo as the year progresses. So typically customers will buy the subscription model with a set amount of scripts, which we've agreed up front on an annual basis. So it is very cost effective, and typically we do see a very quick payback for our customers based on how quickly we can get the solution implemented, and B, the savings in time and resource, as of course automation is quite a key part of a lot of customer strategies now. So that's that. So hopefully that has answered that question for you. Thank you very much. So I think that now brings us towards the end. We're about a minute over what we allocated as 45-minute time slot. So I think I'd like to thank Raji and Kaushik very much for the effort and time you've given today in going through your demos and the case study. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining. Should anybody want a further, more in-depth demonstration, please reach out to us. I think, believe on the next slide, Raji, is there a QR and email? Thank you very much. So please scan the QR code if you would like to run a POC for Winfo Test, which again, as I said, we're very happy to do. If you'd like to discuss your particular requirements with us, please also reach out to us via email, and we'd be happy to discuss that with you and provide a more in-depth demonstration and presentation. We will, of course, as I said, send out the video recording of this session so that you can refer back to it. And we look forward to hearing from you and working with you moving forward. So thank you all very much indeed. And we will now end the webinar. Thank you very much.